አንቺን ሳገኝ ተደስቼ እውነት መስሎኝ ልቤን ሰጠሁሽ ተዝናንቼ ከሴቶቹ ሁሉ አብልጬ
The term Dravidian is used to refer to all of the non-Aryan population in the peninsula of India. According to the experts, the Tamils arrived in India around 3000 BC. Dravidians are believed to be of African origin. Some researchers are of the view that some Ethiopians have remarkable physical resemblances. So, the belief is that the first people who arrived to India were Negroids from Africa with black skin and curly hair. The anthropologists also created a new racial group called the Mediterranean race and identified the Dravidians came from this race as the Mediterranean's origin in black Negroid. Summarizing, Ethiopians in antiquity ruled India and they were named the Naga. The Nagas created Sanskrit writings and language. Nagas ruled all of India, Sri Lanka and Burma. They were a warlike people, used bow, arrow and noose.
አስነስተሽ ተዋውቀሽኝ ጠብቀኝ ብለሽ ሳላስበው ተለየሽኝ
Nowadays is predicted on the view that since they speak an Indo-European language, they are of North Indian origin. The historical reality, however, is totally different. Except perhaps for the oldest stratum of settlers prior to 200 BC, almost all subsequent settlers in Sri Lanka came from South India, mostly from Tamil Nadu, Orissa and Kerala, and quickly became Sinhalese.
Is the information given by this voice acceptable? Do Sinhalese come from South India as this voice claims? Most unlikely from historical evidence. Tamils as Naga tribe have migrated to India at some stage can be accepted. According to our historical chronicles and Mahavansa, Nagas and Yakas were inhabitants of the island. So, the Nagas may have been in the island before Prince Vijaya's landing in Tambapani. Aryans and Dravidians have different accents. Aryans have a North Indian accent, whereas Dravidians have a South Indian accent. Looks-wise, Aryans are fair-skinned as compared to the Dravidians. They also set the caste system in India consisting of four general tribes of priests, businessmen and aristocrats and scheduled castes. Sinhalese language and culture came from North India, probably Bengal, as Mahavamsa says, but Hela ethnic groups were living on the island and are the aboriginal inhabitants. As I mentioned earlier, the Sinhalese originated from the Indo-Aryans. At that time, about the time Prince Vijay landed in Tambapani, near Putlam in Sri Lanka, there were the local Vedas, Yakhas and the Nagas. Kuveni, also known as Sesapati, was a Yakshini queen mentioned in the ancient Pali chronicles Mahavansa and Deepavansa, the primary source for her life story being the former history mixed with legend. She is venerated as Mahaloku Kiri Amaleto by the Vedas. Veni, on the other hand, is regarded as a descendant of the demons of the Ramayana and Ravana who also dwelled in Sri Lanka. Queni helped Vijaya destroy the Yakha city of Sirisavatthu and had two children with him. However, Vijaya has to marry a Kshatriya princess to be a legitimate ruler. Therefore, he marries the daughter of a Pandu king who also sends other women as brides for Vijaya's followers. Queni and her two children leave for the Yakha city of Lankapura, where she is killed by the Yakhas. Let me now take you to 38,000 BP, meaning before the Common Era. We had our history of Homo sapiens going back to that era, named by the archaeologists as the Balanguda man. Balanguda man, the earliest evidence of Balanguda man from the archaeological sequences at caves and other sites dates back to 38,000 BP, meaning before the Common Era or before present. And from excavated skeleton remains to 30,000 BP, which is also the earliest reliably dated record of anatomical modern humans in South Asia. Cultural remains discovered alongside the skeletal fragments including geometric microliths date back to 28,500 BP. People who lived during that period had strong bones and possessed a thick skull, heavy jaws and large teeth. According to the historian K. M. de Silva, in the Mesolithic phase, the Balanguda cultures were found throughout the island, with rudimentary knowledge of agriculture in the Neolithic phase. Balanguda man also knew how to produce fire. However, De Silva believes that the scarcity of calcined bones among his food remains suggests that flesh was generally eaten raw. The bottom line is there is archaeological evidence that there were very strong boned people living in Balangod district in Sri Lanka lived during the Mesolithic era. Subsequently, there is evidence that there were human beings during 500 BC period in the northern part of the island called the Nagas, Yakas and the Vedas. Nagas may be the present-day Tamils who migrated from South India. The Sinhala race started with the arrival of Prince Vijaya from North India. Hope you enjoyed watching this video, which gives you a glimpse of our past. Thank you and stay safe.